lips. There we go. I look just like Joe Kennedy. Okay, here we go. What does this stuff taste like? Can you eat this? I don't know. I'm just going to smear it all over my lips here. Okay. Get a tissue here. How's that look? Convincing? Yeah, I look like one of the xenomorphs from Alien. The American economy is breaking record after record. Companies are raising wages naturally instead of artificially, mandated by the government, and they're giving generous bonuses to their employees. But we as a community, we see that those people who are successful, that they get paid more. And those who are not successful, they don't get paid as much. And that's not who we are. We live in a dangerous world full of hatred, chaos, tax cuts, Russians, carbon dioxide molecules, germs, white people, and literal Nazis. This is not right. This is not who we are. To the undocumented immigrant who is frightened of incarceration or deportation because he raped and murdered people and is faced with the possibility of not being able to rape or murder people for a while until he walks right back over that border again easily, to repeat the process all over again. To the parent who lies awake screaming all night long, terrified that their child with gender appropriation... gender appropriation... No, I mean, that their transgendered child... They're horrified that the possibility that President Trump will come and personally beat the shit out of their kid for being goofy, for wearing a dress. To the brony who was given shit in math class for collecting dolls meant for little girls. To the owner of a chihuahua that the dog just can't stop barking day and night, 24 hours, 7 days a week. We want you to know that we as Democrats choose both. There is no reason why poor people can't drive Lamborghinis. Wait, choose both of what? Anyhow, this stuff is disgusting. Get this Vaseline off my lips. Alright, so that was my Joe Kennedy impersonation. With his frickin' slobbering all over himself. Like a psychopath. Oh man, that really made my week. So, today is February 2nd, right? February, yes. And I have a bit of a cold. I have taken the day off, and actually I'm feeling pretty good. So, you know, I'm glad I was able to take a day off and rest, because I had been kind of pushing myself this past week. So, stuff and things. Let's talk about plastic models.
Plastic models.
I was doing a favor for my friend Jared, aka Rebels of Cloud 9, and he wanted the Eien No Zero, which the Eternal Zero. So Tamiya doesn't do a whole lot of licensed model kits like Hasegawa or Bandai, of course, and but they did do, which is just a no-brainer, for the movie the Eternal Zero, Eien No Zero. And they had two kits, and Hasegawa also made their own as well for the movie. There was the Zero Fighter, the earlier version, and the later version. So the earlier version has like a blue skies, and the later version has like these cloudy, dark skies. And this one you can find fairly easily, still online, retailers. The earlier version, though, you can't find it anymore. and he wanted to get the earlier version, and I was gonna buy it for him, and I couldn't find it anywhere. Sorry, I can't really communicate very well. And then I saw on Yahoo Auctions Japan that somebody had was selling a set, brand new, unopened. They had the early version, they had this late version, and also a Fockewulf by Hasegawa. And so I got that, and I paid, for that auction, I paid what I would have bought just like one of these kits by themselves, pretty much. Maybe a little bit more. And so I gave the earlier version to Jared, Rebels at Cloud 9, and I kept this one for myself. He wasn't interested in this, so I kept this. And in, like I mentioned in that that same auction, it came with this. So this is an older Hasegawa kit. This is 1/32 scale Fockewulf. Look at that. That's great, huh? Yeah, 32nd scale. This is pretty gibungus. And so I got, hopefully these are going to fit. I got some maskings from it's called Masking Honbai. They sell stuff on Yahoo Auctions. And like, here are the runners. Like, this is a huge, enormous kit. That is gibungus. Okay, so it's molded in like dark green plastic, and it's really big. And I think it'd be a lot easier to try to do like the modeling, the modeled camouflage pattern with an airbrush on a larger subject like this than it would be to try to do it on like a 72nd scale. So yeah, this is pretty cool. Neat stuff. And I really hadn't planned on getting anything really this month except for one model kit. I ended up getting those two. The one thing I had pre-ordered a while back is the second Wings of Honneamise kit by Plum. This is the Shiro Dao. This is the two-seater version of the fighter jet, or the fighter plane that is seen in the movie. And because I bought it directly from Plum, with the special edition, comes with pilot figures. So it has like these little ABS plastic figures, and so it's molded in nice blue plastic, and it comes with two of these little pilot figures, which is pretty cool. So yeah, very neat, very cool. So I have the regular red, the one-seater version, and this is the two-seater version. And let me move this over here. Alright, so I have a new cutting mat now. I'm happy about that. And I'll show you these pretty soon. Just wait a second here. Let me move these guys out of the way. Alright, so I had shown, I got this italeri strike flanker. This is the Su-34 Fullback, and I got this a month ago. Now there is online store in Czechoslovakia. My friend told me, because he had this kit, he recommended that I buy this resin cockpit replacement. And compared to the original, it's just, oh my gosh. Alright, now let's tell you what, let's try to be empirical about this, and show this a bit. Okay, so here's like the main fuselage here of the kit, and let me get the part out here that has the cockpit here. All right, so what's really cool is I was watching a video, and the pilots enter this plane through the underside here. There's like this wheel, you know, by where the wheel is, I guess. There's a little staircase that comes down, and the pilots enter the plane through the bottom, and they enter the cockpit through this little door here in the back. Now you can see there's like just like a very vague impression of like what a door could be, and the seats here. This is like the middle part. There's like these other little parts here on the sides that fit on either side, but very, very sparse detail. Now, I'm almost afraid of opening this up, but, you know, I don't know. Maybe you could see it without me opening this up right now. But, so you could, you know, screw it. Let me open this. Let's just go ahead and get my little scissors here. I got this from a company in the Czech Republic, like I mentioned before. And they had to order it from the supplier, because actually the supplier is the one I contacted first, and then they told me who to buy it from. So let me find out the name of that company. Hold on a second. Okay, so Modelimex is what they're called, and so really great customer service, great English and all that. So look at this doorway; it's really, really cool. Like just comparing these two parts here, this is so fantastic looking. This is so great. So you get this neat little, you know. You may find yourself flying in a Russian jet fighter, and you may find yourself looking at a door, and you may ask yourself, what does that doorway lead to? And you may find yourself in a tiny little kitchen with a neat little restroom, and you will say to yourself, my God, this is a cool airplane. Oh my gosh. Because I was watching a video, and yeah, behind this door, you know, this is where they enter the cockpit, right? There's going to be 2 seats here, and there's like a little kitchenette inside and like a restroom and stuff. So, you know, they have to go potty sometimes, and so they can stay up in the sky much more longer than that too. And this is also really cool. So it has, you know, of course, like better. What is this? This is the refueling rod, I believe. And that is pretty cool looking, huh? And this is also here. This goes, this sticks on top of the canopy. See that, how it's curved like that? This is actually like a heads-up, you know, buttons that are above the pilot's head. This detail is completely missing from the kit, from what I can tell. And here is the detailed cockpit console. Very nice. And here is one of the chairs. So you got straps, the, you know, the seat belts and all that. Very, very nicely detailed. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Very cool stuff. So yeah, this is what I've gotten recently. And let me show you the stuff I am working on currently. So you just saw a little bit. Sorry, my voice is really it's kind of gone down an octave. Commander, turn this ship apart until you found those plants, and bring me the passengers. I want them alive. No, I guess it's not that deep. Alright, so I'm almost done with this guy here. Almost done with this guy here. So the P-38 Lightning, it's coming along okay. I just need to finish up the propellers The silver paint, there's a lot of flawed places in it. I've had a lot of mistakes on here, so I'm just gonna just go forward with this, and you know, whatever. I do believe this P40 Warhawk, the Tiger Cute, is going to come out a lot nicer, a lot more nicely, I believe. So I have the decals on. I need to do some painting on like the rear tire and in the wells here. And I also need to finish up on the propeller on this one as well. So these are going to be done pretty soon. If you're watching this and you want to build this guy here, I would recommend putting some sort of a weight in the bottom of the egg here. And because this has the propensity to kind of fall back like that. So if you have a weight in there, it'll work a lot better, I think. Sorry. Sorry. I am feeling pretty good, but I haven't been talking all day long. I've just been at home all day by myself, and now that I'm starting to talk again, I kind of feel bad. What else? Yeah, so the TIE Interceptor is almost done. I have a little bit of a more, like, you know, this has to be a different gray, like a neutral gray along the canopy, so I'm going to paint that. And I have to do a clear coat and then the decals, and I'm done. That's going to be great, I believe. I've also been spending a lot of time on that Gundam and getting that ready. I've been painting up the pieces and such. So you'd probably be wondering, you know, what's been going on. I haven't been uploading a whole lot in January because I've been actually been kind of busy doing other stuff instead of making the videos. So I've had to redo my little SR-71 Blackbird guys, and hopefully they're going to fit in the cockpit now. This is like the third time I've had to redo them. Not happy about that, but you know, whatever. What else can I talk about? There's been this whole this past month in January, Hobbico, the parent company of Revell, has filed for bankruptcy. And you know, I'm not into American car models and such so much. I've never, like, the only car model made by a Western company is that I'm making, you know, currently actually right now, is the AMT kit. And actually, this is something I'm really kind of pissed off about. So the Tamiya tape kind of left this crappy residue on the clear coat, and it also yanked up the down to the bare plastic here. I don't know what happened, if I didn't if I missed a spot when I was cleaning it and there was some mold release agent still there and the tape yanked the paint off right there. I'm really kind of really disheartened about that. Not happy. I'm gonna try to maybe give this another go, painting the car body yet again. I'll have to kind of polish this, you know, wet sand this or whatever, and try it yet again. Oh boy, not happy about that. So anyhow, I was talking about Hobbico. So Revell, I've never like, okay, so I know that they did the only Revell I've built really was that retooled version of the Cylon Raider. I have some Revell, like I've got the Battlestar Galactica stuff, you know, from them. That's like the only Revell. Actually no, I have, I think, a Revell kit that that Jared gave me. It's a German plane. I have to find it. It's right here somewhere. But you know, nothing that Revell has made that I've really been excited about. I do like that they have repackaged stuff, like whether it's Italeri's Star Destroyer, or they have repackaged Fine Molds' Star Wars kits. That I think that's great that they've done that. But like their own Star Wars that they've made themselves, it's, I mean, totally inconsistent scales with the pre-painted stuff, and it's just, I don't know. They go for the whole toy aspect, but I don't know. If I was a kid, I wouldn't have been interested in those things at all because, I mean, at least the Kenner toys, there's some sort of like a attempt at proportion for the Star Wars toys when I was growing up. In consistent scales with each other or whatever. But yeah, when it comes to models, I don't really see the appeal to that. I don't know. I have looked at a lot of Revell kits, and I'm like, hey, that looks nice, and it turns out it's actually an italeri. Or did I say Italeri's Star Destroyer? I meant to say Svesta. Sorry, I have a cold. I'm not thinking too well, I guess. No, they would repackage Italeri stuff as well. And when you find out, oh yeah, this Revell is actually kind of nice, it turns out it's by another company. People who are into a lot of the scale models, I've seen videos, people reviewing, and they say, you know what, this is all right, but you're probably best off getting the italeri or the Tamiya or whoever instead of Revell. So I don't think that they've really scored points with a whole lot of people, and as a result, they're not doing well. So I don't know how that's going to affect Hasegawa's distribution in North America, or I think Italeri for that matter. I don't know what's going to happen with them, but I don't know. I've never been a fan of Revell's, so but at the same time, I hate to see any company go under. So we'll just see how that goes, I guess. And this is something I almost forgot to mention. This is the Andromeda. This is the new Mecha collection for Yamato 2202. I've already primed it, and you'll be seeing a video on this probably shortly. I've already got the base coat down, so it's just a matter of time to just do the touch up and the other painting, and then it'll have the final assembly. So if you're like me, and I know I am, you are a sucker for egg planes. So I'm currently working on both of these right now. Of course, these egg planes are really super fun. Now, these actually go back to like at least maybe the late 80s, maybe even earlier than that. I'm not sure. Like, for example, this one is a much older model kit with the molds here. This one is a newer one, and it even has like a pilot figure of the egg plane girl. So the concept of the egg plane girls that go along with the packaging and such is fairly more. It's newer. So the character designs are provided by a guy named Fujisawa Ko, I believe his name is. And so a lot of them, they have, unique girls. I don't think I've seen this girl on other packages, but like I know this one, her name is Claire Frost. She's in a lot of other packages and such. So, of course, they have appeared in like this kit, for example, which I actually incidentally have been working on a little bit recently, and hopefully I'll have an update on that, if not the completed thing, hopefully in the next couple months or so. Now, of course, there have been other kits in the past that have alluded to, like for example, this. I did a video series on this. These are the capsule toy in 1/12 scale. It's like gashapon dispensers, and like for example, it has like the egg plane girls right there, right? So they've alluded to stuff like that, and as well as this crane game here at the arcade here. This is the UFO catcher, as they're called in Japan, and it shows you can get little egg plane girls in the packages, like pre-made figures and such. And so I told the Hasegawa rep back when I first saw them, like, hey, it'd be so cool if you could actually make kits of the actual girls themselves. And at that time there would have been at the Wonder Festival events, they had like garage kits of the Eggplane girls. Now, starting last year, like for example, this is the second in the series of the Wild Eggplane girls. The first one was Amy McDowell, the blonde-haired girl. This is Claire Frost in the Kugelwagen. Then in January, they just came out with Carl Morser that had another Eggplane girl. It was Carl Morser with Ray Hazami. But these come with 1/24th scale resin figures of the Eggplane girls. Well, news flash, this is really cool. So in March, it's slated for March 20th, we're getting 2 limited edition Eggplanes that come with not 1/24th scale, but actually 1/20th scale Eggplane girls. First up is Ray Hazami with the Mitsubishi F2. So not only does this Eggplane come with custom decals, but it also comes with a resin figure of Ray Hazami in her bathing suit. These have decals for the eyes, so if you are kind of hesitant about painting a figure, then maybe don't worry so much, because you don't have to worry about painting the eyes, and hopefully this will look nice as long as you can make the put the decals where they need to be. So this is Ray, and she's wearing a bathing suit, and this is actually the schoolgirl style bathing suit, in which the girls will get in like junior high and high school. Personally, I really don't understand the appeal to a bathing suit like this, but it is a fetish because of the whole young schoolgirl kind of a stigma to it. I'd rather see her wearing like a regular bathing suit, or at least just normal clothes. I would be happy seeing her in just in a flight suit. That would be pretty cool too. But whatever. Now, also to be released, this is a new Eggplane girl. Yay! Her name is Haku Rinfa, and she comes with the Chinese J-15 fighter plane. Now, the J-15 is basically it's a Russian flanker that is made for China, and so China. They fly Russian-made fighter jets, and this J-15 Eggplane is basically just a repop of the Su-33 Flanker D Eggplane, which I am currently working on right now. So this girl, Rinfa, is wearing the ubiquitous Chinese cheongsam dress. And I really can't wait to see the gold decals for the pattern on her dress, and that's going to look really beautiful. I'm sure of it. So these are slated for March 20th, and I am really excited about that. I've got a pre-order in with Honneamise for these 2 kits. Okay, so next, this is always the fun part, and I'm going to share idiots' comments on my YouTube page. This new year, 2018, I was wondering who was going to be my first retarded commenter for the year. And this is on the video I had taken many years ago of the company Rainbow 10, and I had used my old camera before I got this new HD camera. And I haven't really done these anymore, these videos of the stores and such. I might do that again. It depends. There's a couple of little hobby shops where I live now that are kind of cool. They might let me do videos, I guess, but I've really lost interest in doing that. And I know a lot of people, they appreciate seeing that stuff. But anyhow, so when I did that video for Rainbow 10, the gist of it was just to show everybody what the hobby store is like, right? And I'm not going to spend like hours recording everything that's in the store. Duh. Well, so here's this commenter by RC Hobbyist Extreme. This guy's, wow. Radio controlled. Oh, don't get me started. So this guy's email was like, no offense, but you were whipping that camera around, dude. If you're going to shoot video, learn to pan the camera slowly. Okay, I get it, you were not a professional. It sure showed. Slow down, take your time. It's not a race. People wanted to see what you were seeing, okay? It was like being on a tilt-a-whirl most of the time. I had to stop watching. People will stop watching your videos if you cannot slow down. That being said, what an awesome place. Sadly, hobby shops are becoming a thing of the past. Well, screw you. Hobby shops, or at least here in Japan, are not becoming a thing of the past. Brick and mortar store. Why bother shopping at a brick and mortar store? I'll try to make a mental note to get back to that later. So my response was like, essentially he said, no offense, but your video sucks, dude. Okay, whatever. So, yeah, and basically, this is the same response I'll give it to anybody else. If you don't like it, get on an airplane to Japan and make your own video. And I said, look, I don't work for Google Earth, okay? The point of the video was just to show people what the store was like. Not to show exactly what's on it, all of the products on all of the shelves. That's ridiculous. And so this guy's response was, obviously you shouldn't be making videos at all since you cannot handle creative criticism, dude. And the language, shame on you. Okay, so I did not cuss at this guy. I just don't get what he was talking about. Unless I used the word crappy and he was offended by the word crap. Really, I cannot fathom what this guy is on about. So, and then he just doesn't back down. Clearly you cannot handle a camera or cell phone, not to mention not asking permission, which is about as disrespectful as you can get in Japan, by the way. Really? Well, tell me more about this Japan you speak of. I would like to know more about this Japan. Okay, so yeah, that pretty much sums you up, fella. Next time ask permission. So I responded to the guy. I'm like, well, actually, I did have permission. I asked the guy, I said, hey, do you mind if I take a video? And they're like, yeah, sure, go right ahead. So at least the guys at Rainbow 10 knew I was giving them free publicity. And actually, I've gotten to know them too. They're like, hey, how's it going? This one guy, I talked to him a bit, but unfortunately I moved and I don't, go to Shizuoka City anymore. But yeah, I actually know the guy, and I got his business card and talked to him a bit. So, yeah. So this guy just assumed I hadn't asked permission when in fact I did. And the guy did not respond back after he is, telling me to grow up. And, okay, so I'm never against, constructive criticism, but like a few months ago when that guy's like, what your problem is, blah, 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 that's not constructive criticism, or this guy, you don't know what you're doing, no offense, but you don't know what you're doing, that's not creative criticism, constructive criticism. It's just puerile, it's just immature, and that is never going to be taken seriously. So I said, I wanted to take a 20-minute video, not a 200-minute video. So, yeah, and I mentioned that I only had like maybe 2,000 subscribers at that time when I uploaded that video, and now I've had about 6,000. So, but and this guy was telling me that people are going to stop watching my videos, especially because of a video that I had uploaded back in like 2012 or whenever it was. So there you have it. Thanks to RC Hobbyist Extreme, I have seen the light. This channel has jumped the shark. There's no point. I might as well just hang up my hat and just be done with it. I'm gonna stop. I am kidding. No. I am never gonna give you up. I'm never gonna let you down. I'm never gonna run around and hurt you. Or, I might, but if I do, it'll just be my own decision to do so. So that guy's a real spunk bucket. Okay, so let's talk about a comment that really made me happy. Alright, so I got this message in January by, I love this guy's name, Poor Bastard's Guide to Modeling. He made a suggestion of maybe doing a buddy build with Russian aircraft. That would be really cool. So, he says he's in the midst of a move, but when he gets set up, maybe he can do that. So I was thinking, I've never really offered to do like a group build. To quote George McFly, I don't know if I could handle that kind of rejection. Because maybe if hey, let's do a group build, and like nobody is interested in doing it, then I might feel sad. But anyhow, I was thinking like maybe just doing a Russian aircraft group build. Or now, Rebels of Cloud9 told me about this one guy who had this idea of doing American Volunteer Group, Flying Tigers group build. And I contacted him, and apparently he's decided maybe not to do that. So, if anybody's interested in these, let me know. And it will be just a YouTube-only group build, because I don't have Facepalm or anything like that. And I don't feel like, keeping up with other forums that I'm not even on. So, yeah, please let me know what you guys think of it, and if I get any responses, maybe we will do a group build. I'm not going to give out any prizes or anything, I don't think, unless, because I'm kind of stingy or whatever, but who knows, we'll see. Anyhow, so let's move on, talk about some other crap. So, what else can we talk about? Okay, trigger warning. Alright, so, oh god, I got this email from, where is it? I didn't delete it, did I? Where is it? I got this stupid email from Twitter. Alright, oh my gosh. Alright, check this out. Alright, it says, Dear Steve the Fish, as part of our recent work to understand Russian-linked activities on Twitter during the 2016 U.S. presidential election, we identified and suspended a number of accounts that were potentially, of course they don't have any proof, but they were potentially connected to a propaganda effort by a Russian government-linked organization known as the Internet Research Agency. Thank you, Internet Research Agency. Consistent with our commitment to transparency. What about Project Veritas? And this happened like right after the whole Project Veritas had taken the, exposed Twitter idiots, the imbeciles, for being the draconian authoritarians that they are. We are emailing you because we have reason to believe that you either followed one of these accounts or retweeted or liked content from these accounts during the election period. Don't say it's true, Twitter. Oh my gosh, Twitter. Alright, Russian propaganda effort. You can see examples of content from these suspended accounts on our blog. Alright, what do you got from me, Rick Astley? Alright, so here we go. Update on Twitter's review of the 2016 U.S. election. Oh my gosh. Alright, look at this. Look at this. This is funny. Where is it? We appeared before the United States Congress last fall. That's right. Yeah, you were telling you got to shut down InfoWars. They're top trending. We mustn't let them trend. You know. So what do they do? They get all these bogus accounts to subscribe and like everything that, like, for example, Chelsea Clinton says that, like, in real life nobody gives a crap what that hideous beast has to say. So, informing people of malicious activity in the 2016 election. All right, so here, okay, this is like apparently these people are Russians. Trump calls me an American. Oh my gosh, that's exactly what a Russian would say. And this is Pamela Moore. Obama called me a clinger. Hillary calls me a deplorable terrorist. Call me infidel. Trump calls me American. Oh my gosh, that's exactly what Putin would say. You don't even need these polls. Donald Trump won. You can read it on Bill Clinton's face. Tennessee GOP. Oh my gosh, Tennessee. That's a code word for Russia. Look at the Chelsea Clinton. She's all forlorn. She's like, oh, my evil, corrupt mother didn't win the election. FBI Director Comey resigned now. So here's another Tennessee GOP. So apparently only Russians don't like Comey. Oh, here we go. Here's here's Darth Sauron. Retweet if you think that President Trump should put George Soros on the FBI most wanted list. Well, yeah, they should freeze his assets and throw him in jail. Again, what does Russia have to do with any of this stuff? So, yeah, this is just name calling, and it's just a straw man attack. You don't like what these people are saying, and so you're just going to accuse them of being Russians. You know, this is the same tactics that they did in the Soviet Union and communist China. You know, oh, we noticed that you aren't exalting Chairman Mao enough. You must be one of those capitalists. We're going to report you to the neighborhood watch and arrest you. You know, oh, you're suspiciously not singing the praises of Chairman Mao in a loud enough voice. We're going to have to do something. You know, we're going to have you arrested. And this is the same type of stuff that they're doing to Taylor Swift nowadays. And, you know, I don't really give a crap about pop music, and I know she's done some catchy songs, but I don't like pop music. But I really support her because, you know, I don't know if Taylor Swift, what her real political leanings are, but whether she supports the populist movement, or if she just wants to just take the high road and stay out of it because she sees how other people are, the backlash from fans. She has the right to not say anything bad about people politically if she doesn't want to. You know, like, I just have a YouTube channel which is not monetized at all. So I don't give a crap about, you know, if I offend anybody. But if you are someone like Taylor Swift and you don't want to just piss off maybe a good half or more of your fan base, you might want to just keep out of it, you know. And you're maybe also not interested in the people accusing you of being a Nazi or whatever, but apparently that's what's going on anyways. They're accusing her of all this horrible things. And it's ridiculous. So yeah, so moving forward, even as we continue to learn from the events of the 2016 you know what all you have to learn is that people do not like corruption. They do not like authoritarianism. They want freedom. People want to be left alone. They don't like language police. They don't like being told what to do, what to think, how to act, what games to play. They just want you to leave them the hell alone. That's all you have to learn about the 2016 U.S. election, okay? And you can also learn you don't just go around just denigrating people constantly, and oh you're deplorables or you're a bunch of bitter clingers and all that kind of crap. Why don't you just be nice to people for a change? You know, instead of all this, well, we have to make people think the way we do, so we're going to, silence people or have them arrested or whatever. It's just completely stupid. So yeah, thank you Twitter for being obnoxious. I'm not really sure what else to talk about, so I'll just end the video here. But actually, yeah, there is something I want to talk about with this whole, so I have done videos of the so-called suicide forest, and oh gosh, that is one of the highest viewed videos on my channel. And my purpose of that video was just to show the beauty of the place, not to focus on all the death. But apparently this guy Logan Paul, and I've never heard of this asshat before this happened. That was like right around New Year's. That whole thing just blew up, and I didn't know who the hell he was before then, because I don't care about those YouTube people that just point cameras at their faces. And okay, well, I'm different because I only point cameras at my face maybe once a month. But anyhow, this is just about hobbies and stuff. Not like, oh, hello YouTube, hey, how are you doing? That does not do anything for me at all, so I don't pay attention. But anyhow, so I wanted to kind of gather my thoughts on that, and maybe I'll share that pretty soon. So you can look for that. In the meantime, I think that's it for now. So, yeah, I'm going to be finishing up some models. I have done a couple of little models. Actually, I put these only on my Tumblr blog, though. They weren't really worth taking video of but there was like these two little Macross Delta Mecha collection kits. Nothing much to get excited about, but you can check that out on my Tumblr page, stevethefish.net.tumblr.com. And speaking of Nazis, I've been reading a really interesting book by Dinesh D'Souza. This is The Big Lie, Exposing the Nazi Roots of the American Left. This is a really, really interesting book. I've only gotten, I think, maybe about a fifth of the way through so far. This is very educational. So, this book, what he does is he dispels the myth that you have fascism on the far right, and then you have communism on the far left. So the people who are really espousing that theory, they don't really bother to explain what the roots of fascism are. Of course, you get all these idiots you see on TV, in the news about with the Antifa and they're anti-fascist and such, and yet their tactics are identical to the black shirts of fascist Italy or the brown shirts of fascist Germany, of Nazi Germany, I should say. So it's very, very interesting read. So basically, the books talks about how fascism and communism are not opposing ideologies, but they are in fact competing ideologies. The fascism, the actual term, refers to like a bundle of sticks and how they cannot be broken when they are bound together, whereas a single stick may be broken by itself. It is collectivism. and it is grounded in socialism. And I haven't gotten too far in the book, but it is talking about how like Franklin Delano Roosevelt was a big fan of Mussolini, and Mussolini was a fan of him as well. And I do know that the young John F. Kennedy was a fan of Nazi Germany, and he had visited there. Now, I don't know what to the extent that he knew about what was going on. I kind of halfway like JFK. I don't think he was a bad president, but yeah, he certainly was rather enthralled with his trip to Germany. And so so he and Dinesh D'Souza, he says in this book that everybody knows that Karl Marx is the founding philosopher of communism, or socialism, and that Adam Smith is the founding philosopher of capitalism, but you never hear who the founding philosopher of fascism is, and it's an Italian named Giovanni Gentile. I think that's how you would pronounce his name. It looks like Gentile, but I imagine it's Gentile. So the principles of Gentile's philosophy are pretty much identical to modern American progressivism, and as a result, it's not surprising that his existence has been pretty much erased by academia in America, since it is almost a monopoly from leftists in America. So he does talk about how I haven't gotten too far into the book, like I said, but he does talk about how like the Nuremberg laws are basically patterned like identically after the Democrat policies of the South with segregation and such, and there are a few things that I have read so far that I disagree with. Dinesh D'Souza, while I like him a lot, he is a diehard Republican, and he is, like, for example, he will not mention in here about how the Bush family under Prescott Bush had directly profited from Auschwitz. That's not going to be in here. He mentions that the Nazi Party was completely self-funded, and from what I understand, that is not the case at all. He he doesn't mention at all about the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers. Looking in the appendix, those names do not come up at all. Also, he does not mention Cold Spring Harbor at all. So while he does mention about Margaret Sanger, who is Hillary Clinton's her role model, she was a Klansman who was deeply tied with the Nazi Party in Germany. He does go into apparently how the eugenics movement had started in America, and that was what Hitler had moved. That really deeply moved him. This book actually does distinguish the difference between fascism and Nazism, and that's something you're not going to hear from, especially these Antifa street thugs at all. Very interesting. Overall, it's a very interesting read. Highly recommended it. To read about the Bush family, I would recommend getting this. It's not quite as interesting. I guess I know a bit of this already, but this is by Roger Stone. It's the Bush crime family, and this talks about the Auschwitz and all that kind of crap that the Bush family were into. So D'Souza is saying in his book that it's all 100% Democrats, but maybe that's not. I would say maybe like 90-95%. the American left were like this with fascism and Nazism, but that's something that completely is just completely glossed over in modern academia, and he even cites those sources where these people they're claiming that fascism and such is a rightist philosophy, but it's actually not. It's very, very much socialist, and that's why the Nazis were called National Socialists. So, I guess that's it. It's evening now. I had to come back and finish this video, so let's finish this up now. So, as always, live long and prosper. May the force be with you, and so long, and thanks for all the fish. Bye.